Alrighty, so as you guys can see here, we have a new action that's coming to the channel. So this is an Aero Precision Solus, but this is specifically the Obsidian one, which is kind of like the new one, or maybe like the version 2, something like that. They still sell both of them. But I had seen videos kind of talking about this one at SHOT Show, and I was really interested to try it, and I really couldn't find any reviews of it. And I ended up getting one. I got an email from Aero that said that they had some Blim Solus Obsidian actions for sale, and I ended up getting this for $641. So a very affordable action. As most of you know, I just put together an Impact 737, which is like a $1,450 action. So this is like literally less than half the price of the last action that I purchased. So I picked this up last night and I'm filming this morning. And obviously most people know it's a Remington 700 footprint, interchangeable bolt heads, 3-lug, 60-degree throw, which I'm excited about. And the cool thing is it's got the Zermatt Origin or the Savage Small Shank pre-fit tenon. So it's pretty easy to find a barrel for it. So, which that's not a problem for us because we're going to chamber our own barrel. But anyway, nice packaging. And literally this is it coming out of the package. We've got the action. Get that out to the side. We've got the bolt right here. And then let's see, what is this? Trigger hanger kit. So apparently this uses a trigger hanger. And we even have a barrel nut and a barrel nut tool. So if we wanted to use a Savage pre-fit, I believe that's what this is for. Don't know if we're going to use that or not right now. We'll probably end up chambering a barrel for it, but time will tell. We'll see what's going to go on. So let me get this box out of the way and get to the action because that's really the part that matters here. So looking at the action, it is a Blim, and let's see where the Blim is. I think it looks like to me potentially it's just the finish. There's maybe, I don't know if you guys can tell, do you see like there's some kind of weird stuff going on here? Not a big deal to me. Again, I bought a Blim action. I knew there was going to be some Blim, some cosmetic Blim about it. And it took me a minute to kind of figure out what it was, but I think that's what it is. There's something that happened with nitriding or Cerakoting or whatever covering this has on it. So it doesn't look like there's anything obvious. I mean, again, I got this for $641, so I cannot complain about maybe the finish being a little, I don't know, maybe uneven, what you might say. So anyway, let's slide the bolt in. And all right. That's pretty slick right off the bat. There's no lube on this. This obviously just came out of the package. There's no trigger on here, but it feels pretty good. I mean, you can see if now there is kind of like my Impact, there's a little catch, potentially, I guess maybe those bolt lugs kind of catching there. And then obviously we're dropping into battery, which slams in really easy. Let's see what bolt lift looks like. You know, it's not in the action, so it actually doesn't feel too bad. But the actual bolt riding in the action doesn't want to bind, that's for sure. And I do kind of like that, how it kind of almost slams into battery there. So that's kind of neat. Let me get a trigger on this thing and then we'll play with it a little bit more here. But my first impressions of this, especially for $641, are, wow, this thing is super nice. I mean, super smooth. I mean, you can just kind of hear that. It's actually really smooth, which is why I wanted the Obsidian, because the original Aero, I had read some reviews of that people thought it was a little gritty. And as you guys know, I kind of ripped up the Impact action because I didn't think it was as smooth as what it should be. So when I saw things about this Obsidian, especially for the price, thought, man, that's pretty slick. So let me get a trigger in this and we'll take a little bit more, closer look at it. Alrighty, so I went ahead and got a trigger dropped in here via the trigger hanger, which is quite easy. This is a Timney, I forget, maybe a Timney hit. And I went ahead and put a little bit of grease on the bolt lugs and sprayed some Hornady cleaner on the bolt and just rubbed it off. Basically, just a quick clean, really didn't do anything specific as far as cleaning goes. Just to kind of get an idea of how things were going to go with a trigger. So obviously the bolt lift without the trigger brake is pretty easy. Now, one thing I do notice is this does have that little bit of almost like, I don't know if it's cock on close, but it's kind of similar to my impact where the bolt kind of like as it closes. Now, when the gun is sitting in my hand and not, in a chassis and things like that, you notice a little bit more, and I don't notice it on the impact. But you notice as the bolt closes, it doesn't just like fling into battery. You kind of have a little, I don't know, it's like a little resistance there whenever it closes. Again, when you run the bolt fast, you don't really notice it, or I don't think it'll be a problem, but similar to the impact. Now, this is super duper smooth. I'm really impressed with this. Now, bolt lift, this is 60-degree throw, so naturally it's probably going to be a little heavier than my impact. So if I break the trigger, and actually, that didn't feel bad at all. I do have to grip the gun. It's not like nothing, but I'll tell you what, so far, I'm really impressed with this action. I don't want to make any comments with it regarding the impact, but there'll be a video after I get to use this a little bit more that compares the two. But I can definitely tell you my first impressions are better. Now, that also could be because I paid half for this, right? I paid $640 for this, and I paid $1,400 for the impact. But so far, this Solus Obsidian has me impressed. I mean, just the bolt smoothness, like that is the way that I would really want it to be. Now, again, the way that it closes, we'll see. I don't think it'll be a problem because it's similar to my impact. And then bolt lift, actually, for a 60-degree, doesn't feel bad at all. So anyway, this is just the first video. Obviously, we're going to build this out into an actual gun. We're going to shoot it. But man, the initial impressions of this Aero Solus Obsidian action, especially when you consider the price, paid $640 for this. This looks like it's going to be pretty sweet. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you next time.